This is TechCrunch.
OpenAI is nearing a deal to raise more than $100 billion at a valuation that could exceed $850 billion. That's according to Bloomberg, citing sources familiar with the matter. The deal comes as the ChatGPT maker burns through cash as it inches toward profitability. To that end, OpenAI has said it has started testing ads in ChatGPT for free users, a gamble that could lead to more revenue or could send users running from the platform. Apparently, investors think it's worth the risk if they're valuing the company $20 billion higher than the $830 billion valuation initially expected. Per Bloomberg sources, the company's pre-money value will remain at $730 billion. The first tranches of funding are reportedly coming from the usual suspects: Amazon, already in talks to invest up to $50 billion, SoftBank, gearing up for $30 billion, NVIDIA, close to investing $20 billion, and Microsoft. VC firms and sovereign wealth funds are expected to close later, potentially bringing the total amount raised higher. SoftBank subsidiary SB Energy is expected to build a massive 9.2 gigawatt natural gas-fired power plant on the Ohio-Kentucky border, according to a report from Bloomberg. If completed, it would be the largest power plant in the U.S., capable of powering around 7.5 million homes. With a price tag of $33 billion, the project would be more expensive than recent natural gas-fired power plants, which have skyrocketed in cost, Bloomberg notes. It's unclear who will ultimately foot the bill, though traditionally ratepayers have shouldered the burden for new generating capacity. The Japanese investor is a partner in the Stargate project with OpenAI. SB Energy did not say whether the new power plant would feed directly into the grid or if it would power data centers. OpenAI and SoftBank are in the process of building a proof-of-concept data center at GM's former Lordstown automotive assembly plant. A power plant of this size is likely to take years, perhaps a decade, to complete, even before taking into account the shortage of natural gas turbines. If completed, the project could emit around 15 million metric tons of carbon dioxide per year. When including methane leaks from the natural gas supply chain, the climate impact could be even bigger. Waymo's big chance to bring its robotaxis to the state of New York has been thwarted, at least for now. New York Governor Kathy Hochul withdrew a proposal that would have amended vehicle and traffic laws to effectively legalize robotaxis in the state outside of New York City. Hochul spokesperson Sean Butler confirmed to TechCrunch that the proposal has been pulled. The withdrawal is a setback for Waymo, which has tried for years, along with other autonomous vehicle companies, to test and eventually deploy robotaxis in New York. Hochul had introduced, as part of her broader budget proposal, a plan to change a state law that mandates drivers keep one hand on the wheel at all times. That law essentially prevents robotaxi companies like Waymo from operating in the state, since no human is behind the wheel, if there is a steering wheel at all. Even if Hochul's proposal had survived, it would not have opened the floodgates to AV companies. The proposal contained a number of limitations, including that AV companies could not deploy for hire robotaxi services in any city with more than 1 million people. AV companies would also need approval from the state's transportation commissioner, pay $1 million fee, and show proof of financial security of at least $5 million. Butler said the state would have only backed robotaxi pilots in cities or townships where there was a clear demonstration of local support. With that proposal dead, the state's existing AV pilot program, which is far more restrictive, is expected to remain. Under the pilot program, companies can seek an exemption to the one hand on the wheel rule, allowing them to develop and test autonomous vehicles in the state, but not launch commercial robotaxi services. Waymo is currently testing in New York City and is allowed to do so through March 31st. New York City regulators granted a permit last August to Waymo to test its robotaxis in the city. Under that permit, Waymo is allowed to test up to 8 of its Jaguar I-Pace vehicles in Manhattan and downtown Brooklyn, as long as there is a human safety operator behind the wheel. Waymo is active in numerous other states and operates commercial robotaxi services in Atlanta, Austin, Miami, Phoenix, Los Angeles, and the San Francisco Bay Area. The company says it provides more than 400,000 paid rides every week and is targeting 1 million weekly rides by the end of the year. That's it from TechCrunch. For more stories like these, go to TechCrunch.com.